Well, here we are in the Derby suite. The draw hasn't quite taken place. In fact, racing's still going on here at Shelbourne Park. But myself and Kevin are going to discuss the 8 heats from the second session of second round heats of the BoyleSports Irish Greyhound Derby. Suddenly, from 156 at the start of the competition, we're down to 48, Kevin. This is it. The last time they'll be split up. Next week, it's all in one night, 8 heats. And we saw some wonderful racing tonight.
We did. We saw a real marker laid down again by COOLAVANNY HOFFA. Breathtaking. I'm sure he'll be at the top of the betting going into the third round. But we also had some dogs, like we talked about last night, a couple of big names going out, opened the door, the opportunity, I suppose, to a couple of under-known greyhounds to step forward, and none more so, in my opinion, than Ben's Teddy, putting on a real marker tonight. A well-known greyhound, obviously, but putting on a real marker and one to keep an eye on in the next couple of weeks.
Yeah, indeed. Let's get into it. Heat 9, the first of tonight's contests. This was seen as a bit of a match race between the two brothers, Sober Glory and Rye Hope Beach, and I suppose the race was badly affected by what happened moments before the start, because you saw a number of them charging boxes. It certainly didn't affect Romano Dano. He flashed out, but Sober Glory got first run at him. Now, he had to work to get second. He charged up the inside, getting past the Bold Freddy into the corner, which in itself is some achievement. Showed a bit more early speed than I thought he was capable of to turn second. Once doing so, simply too strong. Took it up into the third bend. 70 and 25 off that start is good, and then powered clear. He's got a massive engine. Rye Hope Beach performed miracles to qualify, certainly aided by the fact that the Bold Freddy decided to run into the rail and stumble at the same time at the third bend, and I'd say it was like a slow nightmare for you up the straight.
Yeah, no, look, take nothing away from the winner, Sober Glory. Like, on paper, I suppose it wasn't the most blessed early paced race. Talking with Craig, who owns Freddie, like, we were a massive price going in, but we felt we had a chance because we thought that he could turn in a nice position. It just didn't scream a race with massive early in it. Sober Glory turning second, the writing's on the wall. Romano Dano was all out to try and hold him into the third bend, but he left the gap wide open, the door was open, and Sober Glory didn't need to be asked twice, drove through the third corner, and a very good run of 29.42. There was a bit of rain as well that just fell prior to that race, so that was a real good run. Romano Dano lost nothing in defeat. He's a real nice type.
When Garrod O'Brien comes up with one,
yeah,
they so often run well, don't they?
Yeah, they do. Look, that prefix has been around a long time. We've had some of them have been very lucky with them, so yeah, he's outrunning his price every week. Rye Hope Beach, look, you could say
he was sent sideways at the corner.
Yeah,
but we saw what happens with Rye Hope Beach when he doesn't get the start.
Exactly, like, you know, I suppose there's two sides of the coin. You could say he was unlucky with how he missed the break, but he tends to do that once or twice. So you'd like to see him just get back to the way he broke a little bit better last week and gain a bit more consistency with it. Yeah, look, he was aided massively. He was probably going into the third bend. The Bold Freddy just mistimed the third corner, stumbled, struck the railing. That opened the door, and Rye Hope Beach too strong up the home straight. We know how fast he is. Just needs to get better at the boxes.
He won't be a big price in the morning still. I would certainly have Sober Glory, though, a shorter price. I just think he's a bit more in his locker in terms of the attributes needed. If he gets an inside draw, he'll be very hard to keep out of the quarterfinals. Moving on to Heat 10, and this was won by Undulation. There's a fair bit of explaining in this contest. Obviously, Trinity Junior was a red-hot favourite. I thought they'd go the other way with him. I thought he'd be nearer to even money than sort of what he was during the week, and he went the other way. He was 4-7 down there. I think he went 4-6, close enough to the off, but it looked like it was all going to plan. BALLYMAC run, though, was really chasing him hard down the back straight. She closed to the third bend. She's on the wrong side of him around the bottom two bends, and when he drifted off slightly and he started to tire, all of a sudden they left the gap open on the inside. Hanover Phantom was third down the back. Undulation, having gone up well, was sort of forced to sort of mind herself a little bit, was fourth down the back, charged into third on the third bend, and then stormed home. It was a brilliant performance by Undulation. Like, when you consider how well she went up, lost the ground, and got it back again. Very, very strong. And as a result of what happened with Trinity Junior, BALLYMAC Run was the one to lose out by a short head. Trinity Junior holding on for second, and Hanover Phantom getting third. I think I got it all there. Let's start with Undulation. Just a brilliant run from a lady who's clearly just loving life.
Yeah, hugely talented. It was awesome to see. Like, I genuinely didn't think. I thought Hanover Phantom would. I know they crossed the line, not much between them all, but like, I didn't think she'd hold Hanover Phantom, and she came from behind them. Like, and I know they took different paths and the gap opened for her, but like, she was the one with the momentum down below at the bottom two bends. When it started the crowd, she was the one that seemed to be gaining all the time. Tail seemed to be going a little bit funny, that you'd nearly, you know, it was strange.
She was just using the rudder. She was just going in and out.
It was weird to see. It was almost like, you know, that her action was sort of going, but she was going forward. She was travelling quicker than the rest of them. It was a massive performance from her. I didn't think she'd back run the likes of Hanover Phantom and stuff like that, but that was huge ability. And like you said, she got a slap at the corner. Like, she can go up better as well, turn closer, going forward. Trinity Junior, look.
It was sweatier than they wanted it to be.
Yeah.
It was about qualification. I wouldn't say there was an awful lot done with him since last week,
yeah.
but it was a bit sweaty off the last bend.
Yeah, no, look, he's stronger than that.
Yeah.
I'd say he definitely had an easy week. You've seen it in the BoyleSports Champion Stakes. Like, he gets to 550 no problem. He was paddling coming to the line today. I'd say he just had an easy week just to freshen him up. They fancied their chances with a week off the bench. They got through, and but like, at the same time, you have to say, like, the early pace he showed, like, he didn't start particularly well, and he absolutely burnt them into the corner. Like,
he does 17-11.
Yeah,
it's a good spin.
He was, and I didn't think he trapped particularly well, but he flew to the corner. BALLYMAC run. She's after showing devastating speed last week. She showed more this week, and she's gone out like by the shortest of short heads.
And that was a theme going forward. There were a few very desperate losers in fourth spot, one of which came actually in He's 11, Mill Road Bulger losing out by a short head. But this was all about CLONBRIEN Treaty. You know, it was all the talk during the week. There were everyone keeps telling me that they fancied Mill Road Bulger. Oh, he was an each way steal. And I said to Barry before racing in a little piece we did, I said, I think he'll go off a much shorter price than he should be. Mill Road Bulger didn't happen for him, missed the kick. I said CLONBRIEN Treaty, all he has to do is come out a length behind them and he wins. He came out a length behind them and he still is doing 3:56 on the line, which is, I think, the fastest in the race. And then he charges clear. Like, it's men versus boys. Like, this was just a brilliant performance by CLONBRIEN Treaty. But again, it's that first 5 strides we're going to have to worry about going forward. But tonight he didn't have to worry about it.
No, I'm similar to you. I thought he was, like you said, I think even if he missed the break by 2 lengths, he still nearly would have made the bend. The race didn't look blessed with early speed. I feel as though Mill Road Bulger would be better from the middle. So I was always you
said that last week.
Yeah, that was a slight negative for me, even against him. So I couldn't see past CLONBRIEN Treaty tonight. Again, he didn't wing it like he can, but he's just, like, he's doing 17-14 to the third bend. We're talking about him leaving a length at the boxes.
It was pure pace.
Yeah, he's got extreme speed. He needs to dominate. He needs to dictate. We've seen that in recent weeks. You know, it's tough for him when he doesn't get on the bunny early. But a huge performance for 9:57. If you mentioned it, I think, in your commentary when they went past the line, we just need to see him starting every week going forward. And if he does, he's going to get the draws. He's going to get 6 most nights. He's going to get tight on the inside.
He's stuck in that 3:56, 3:57, like 3:58. Like, it's just,
I know.
You know, that's not going to win you a derby.
Potentially
you're going to need to win 3:40s. Scotty Scheffler is only a November 21 whelp. You know, he did everything he could to hold off Mill Road Bulger down to the third bend. Successfully did so. He's going places. Just great to see. You know, Ray Mealy with a runner in the third round of the Derby. Fair play to him. He's a young dog, and you know, even if he goes out next week, Puppy Derby off you go. Drombeg 10 is still there for young Evan McAuliffe, as I always call him.
Yeah, no, and he flew home. Like, Mill Road Bulger looked, for all the money, he was going to be second down around the bottom 2 bends. Scotty Scheffler didn't give him a yard, stuck with him. They may have bumped slightly, but Drombeg 10 was there to pick up the piece up the home straight.
Moving on to Heat 12, and I thought this was one of the performances of the night without question. Undisputed was drawn in the middle. You know, another Holiday, the other Cobra in her inside, Papa the Euro dog with blistering early speed in her outside, and Optic Chico there to pick up the pieces in 6. Undisputed wasn't having a bit of it. I thought, sure, in the Oaks that she needed to be on the inside to show her best, because I thought she shied away from dogs when they were on her inner. Another Holiday's there on her inner, and she cut the nose off him on the corner. She was getting that bend. If it was the last thing she was going to let happen, she just cut across and bang, she's 3 or 4 clear into the back straight, and she gallops all the way to line 29.48. I just thought this was a brilliant performance. 17.20 off at 3.43, taking that bump, a little bit of bump on the corner. Just brilliant. Yeah,
the 3:43 is probably up there. I don't know what the fastest section of the Derby is
must
so
be up
far.
there,
I think that could well be it. She rocketed from the box like it was a race. You know, normally in these races, say when COOLAVANNY HOFFA looked earlier on, you're focusing on 6 to see does he break. You always are watching for the dog that you think is going to lead. In this race, I hadn't a clue what trap to look at.
You're sort of just trying to get it all in.
Take it all in.
Widescreen.
And she just winged it. I don't think another Holiday got away as quickly as he could. I thought he showed sensational speed to the opening bend.
He's an inside seed that wants trap 3 or 4.
Yeah, exactly. Middle-road Bulger style again. But he showed great pace to the corner. But like you said, Undisputed was not going to be denied. Like, she made that first bend her own. That was the winning of the race for her. She never, it wasn't even in doubt when she got round.
Market is still strong, isn't it?
Well, that's what we keep saying. Like, you know, like, and you've Rahamofo and Bobsleigh Dream. Like, where would you even bet? Like, so
Undulation.
Yeah.
Of course, her sister. What a litter. Pastano, unlock. It's unbelievable. Another Holiday went up in my estimation in defeat.
Yeah.
For the ground that he lost in the corner, the momentum that he lost, to be beaten only 5 lengths is a big run. And the other Kobe, Teddy Hegarty was talking before racing. He says, I don't think there's any way trap 1 and 2 could both qualify. Yeah. And down the back straight, I would have sold the other Kobe stock for cents. And he dug in, he flew to the third bend and really stuck at it and qualified in third spot. Optic Chico is the dog to lose out. 29.48 again. I don't think you can rule out any of those 3 dogs in the Derby going forward, because we know what another Holiday and the other Kobe are capable of. Certainly the other Kobe, when he's drawn towards the inside where he was tonight, he missed the kick. Another Holiday, stick him in the middle and he's a challenger for any dog. Yeah,
and I think the pace he showed to the corner was sensational. And the other Kobe, I said it on it last week, I do think he's a better dog this year. I think he's not as extravagant, I suppose, on his movements to the bend, and I think he's 10 times a stronger dog. Like you said, this time last year he's a million going down the back. He doesn't qualify this time last year, but he does seem to be a bit hardier this year, and it's standing to him.
We can save a good minute of our talking time in Heat 13 because BALLYMAC MARINO, look, the part, if just doing things right, and he certainly did do things right. I'm sure Liam Dowling and the Met and the Halfway Syndicate are skipping home after this. He popped out, showed enough early speed to lead. Droopy's got it into the corner, which is an achievement in itself, and thereon just gradually turned it up. Turned the screw. It wasn't flashy, it was just perfectly professional and perfect for what they need in the second round of the Derby. Onwards to the next round. Big run by BALLYMAC MARINO. Yeah, look, I wasn't surprised by him to the corner. I wasn't even watching out for what he'd done to the corner. He paced up well last week. What surprised me last week was Kildare, Mr. Chelm, outpacing him that form was frank last night, but the pace he showed again down the back straight. Yeah.
Correct. So I was watching it. Richie Condon was here tonight, asked me for one winner, and he was the one I gave him. So Richie says to me halfway down the back, "Will I collect now?" And I just said, "Hold on for hold on for one more second." I just wanted to make sure, and he did. Like he just
was Richie riding him out down the back, was he?
But it just looked more like himself. I don't know what it was. Like, obviously, it mightn't have been as strong a race as he was in last week. It was a seriously hot heat he had last week, but he just looked more fluent this week. He just looked much sweeter in his running style. So, like you said, I'm sure Liam and Shane are over the moon with it. Music Light Away. He's a strong dog. He's going to keep qualifying.
Bob Shanahan, I was speaking to him before racing, and he said to me that there was 3 BALLYMAC runners in the race. BALLYMAC obviously in one. Yeah. Trap 3 Disco Pants had a connection from BALLYMAC. Connor Healy's from BALLYMAC. Yeah. And of course Bob was born and reared in Ballymacgalligan as well. Music Light Away ran a big race in second behind the BALLYMAC dog. And of course Droopy's got it. Don't forget about this fellow. He's just tipping along nicely, improving with each run. I thought it was a much more encouraging run tonight. He's short of work, clearly, but he's coming into it.
Yeah, no, and he's going to be big enough prices, you'd imagine. Ian, we know, an English Derby winning trainer, he'll get the best out of him. He's coming in off a light campaign this year, and like you said, he's just getting better with each week. Heat
14, we can probably save another minute here. Yeah. COOLAVANNY HOFFA, I predicted at the start of the evening he'd be 3-1 for the Derby. 3-1 might be a touch big. This was just brilliant. Bocco's Crystal did all she could to stay to his coattails. She showed the signs of the seasonal break, the bounce factor there. She still qualified. She'll come on aside for this run especially. But COOLAVANNY HOFFA was just majestic. You know, he does a 3:51. You know, he's got a 3:30 odd in his locker. He just raced away from her down the back straight. It was like watching a supercar going away from, you know, traffic. And yeah, he was just breathtaking. He's just a majestic greyhound. He's a dog I think you need to see in person, just to see how quickly he accelerates and what he does to top-class greyhounds. It was just brilliant. Yeah, I think I said on this piece last week that nothing about his run last week wowed you.
and there's been dogs there that have been putting up runs that just, it's effortless. I think we talked about BALLYMAC and different types of dogs that just seem to glide along. But he has wow runs in him. We've seen it last year. I think there's even more. I think he can even put down a bigger marker than he even did tonight. The people questioning Curly coming into the Derby, underprepared, no racing, hadn't seen him.
I'd just like to point out, I backed him before the Derby.
Okay.
I wasn't questioning Curly.
Perfect.
Right?
Well,
and we know Damien Lannigan certainly wasn't questioning Curly.
No, definitely not. No, but look, people would have been, and trialing him in Shelbourne and then in Tralee. But look, Mick knows the dog. He knows exactly what he's doing. He's brought this dog to this Derby. Look, Mick has got a savage team of dogs, and there wouldn't be any preference given to any. But I'm sure HOFFA, it's easier to get up in the morning when you have one like him, sitting in the can. They don't come around too often, so he would have went into every detail about how to get this dog perfect for this Derby, and so far so good. He's 29.43 last week, 29.31. It looks like he's in third or fourth gear. It looks like he can go up another level. I wouldn't be surprised if he did. The 3.51, there's room for improvement there. 17.01, definitely the fastest.
He did 16.81 or 16.82 this night last year.
Okay.
So he's 3 lengths off that, and it's coming.
Yeah, no, and I actually think the third bend sectionals might be gone back a little bit, because they definitely seem to be gone back.
Track was definitely a touch slower this
evening
again. Just not flying, shall we say.
Yeah, and then it was last year. And even the sectionals, the first section, the 3 sectional, they all seem to be gone back 5 or 10 spots. Yeah. So like that 17.01 is absolutely flying. So and take nothing away from Freeway Charlie, and like you said, Bocco's Crystal.
Like this is the pup again.
Yeah.
Like this is a dog that can qualify for the Puppy Derby, and he just ran his heart out, and he got up for second spot. Bocco's Crystal tied up, no question about it. She got a nice little shunt on the line for her troubles, and Romeo Hotshot was rewarded with a couple of trials for his efforts. But no, Freeway Charlie, big runner for Sharon Hunt. Well done to all involved, and Bocco's Crystal is still there. She is in the race against time. She's going to need to be at her best next week. Yeah, no, but she should come forward. I know people will watch her last week and then watch her tonight and be a bit concerned, but trust me, the run this week will do her better than the run last week. As mad as that will sound, bitches coming out of season, they just need to get those first couple of runs under the belt, because the penny will drop, and if she can still be in this Derby when the penny drops, we know how talented she is. The old adage, she came away too well, can be used in Heat 15. Rahamofo came through the bars, and as a result was right up there at the first corner with a couple of biggish dogs around her, and you just saw her just take a little wobble. I don't like this. I think she's better now when she's missing the kick and running at them. As it was, she ran on very strong to qualify again. I'm sorry to say, knocking out BoyleSports. Vic, sorry John, sorry Kevin. Ben's Teddy though, when he was prominent into the opening corner, all he had to do was avoid the traffic. And when he goes to the corner, as I've written in the report, it was curtains. Yeah. That was it. When he led, there's not a dog in training will pick him up. He's immensely strong, immensely powerful. And on the bunny, he posted 29.31, equaling the time of COOLAVANNY HOFFA off a 17.24. A full 3.5 lengths slower than COOLAVANNY HOFFA, the third bend. Yeah. So it just goes to show how fast he is from that third bend home. Yeah. He's doing 12.07. That's unbelievable home. Yeah. He's just powerhouse. He won't always lead, but it'll be hard to keep out of the frame. Yeah, no, the word you used, powerhouse, is the word I'd use to describe him. I'm surprised you didn't use your Talking Dogs headline there that you were very proud of, that you wrote there. Ready, Teddy, go! I'm surprised you didn't lead off with that. But yeah, look, this was some statement. Like you said, from the third bend home, I don't keep track of the section that's coming home, but I'm sure there won't be one that'll be quicker than him. I don't often myself, but just when you notice a 12.07, you keep it in your locker. It was huge. Like he showed that below in Limerick in the Kirby under a trip that definitely would have been too short from halfway. He was extremely powerful, but like you said, Rahamofo, things just went wrong for her tonight, but she ran a brilliant race to qualify. Tommy Hewick, he's for a strong dog, he seems to be turning a lot closer to the pace, He's shown a lot of early speed. He is, he's shown a lot more. He gets his trapping right. Yeah, I think that 5.75 competition they ran him in might just give him a bit more confidence. He's flying to the bend a lot better, and for Michael English, who bred him, who's worked in the home yard for probably 30-40 years, it's obviously special. Longer than you're alive anyway. Yeah, exactly. So I'm obviously keeping a close eye on him, so delighted and obviously the horse that bought the dog, Syndicate, obviously the best really handling name ever. Exactly. So yeah, look, good all round. Unfortunate for Vic, it was just one of those things. Missed the break, got a bit of trouble and chinned by Rahamofo. Yeah. She's and done for all that happened to Rahamofo, for her to qualify is a fair achievement. She's immensely strong, and she's still there. And the hotter it gets,
better.
The more you actually hope she doesn't get the flyer.
Yeah.
You've done a sort of way and then pick through. Moving on to Heat 16, and this was all about early speed. This was about what dog could get first run. It was seen as certain betting market between 1 and 6 as regards which would get loose. But we forget about Halo last week. Like, he showed devastating early speed to get front last week after missing the kick. Tonight he didn't miss the kick. He led to the corner, and he just seemed to have the same racing line as Hawkfield Blue, because he put him off, I would say, about 72 and a half times. Hawkfield Blue tried and came. And the line came in time for Hawkfield, or for Halo. Probably a week later, considering the money had him on last week.
Yeah.
But good to see Halo winning for Basil and Bernadette Holian, and of course Matthew Hart. And the two dogs that went through with him, Hawkfield Blue and Callaway Masters, running well in defeat.
Yeah, look, Halo took a fair step forward. You know, last week he was all out. He was lucky enough to qualify. He was you know, he from memory anyway, I think he just about held on, having led virtually all the way across the line, pretty much together. But he didn't look like he was getting home at all. I know tonight it looks the same way.
But he was the fastest fourth. Like, that's how, you know, it's still nip and tuck to get in.
Did he win?
30-17. He could have won the toss.
I think he won the toss to go through. But Hawkfield Blue, like you said, like, he's Champion Stakes third and or Champion Stakes finalist, and he ran some race, like, because, like you said, like, at the first bend they get checked, at the second bend he closes down to the bottom, and even out the home straight, Halo takes the same line as him. But like, Halo for me stayed an awful lot better than he did last week. I thought Hawkfield Blue would just run clean by him. The track this time last week had really sort of just come apart as such. It was really starting to get slow. Yeah. Whereas this week it's and we're an hour ahead.
Yeah.
Like, they were running the 13th race last week, you know. They were running the 8th tonight, so that's another hour on top. So, yeah, look, I'm sure all three will be happy. All three will probably need to take a step forward. It's going to get really tough now next week.
Yeah. What wins the Derby?
It's going to be hard to beat HOFFA.
HOFFA, the Hoff. That's it. We have seen all 16 heats of the second round of the BoyleSports Irish Greyhound Derby. We look forward to next Saturday night. We'll have 8 third round heats. It's starting to get tense. It's a very, very talented last 48. Make sure you tune in for the remainder of the BoyleSports Irish Greyhound Derby, because it promises to be an absolute belter.
Logan,